So ever since I graduated college last year, I have been studying art by myself. I have a degree in political science and minors in studio art and philosophy. I never really actually thought that I was going to be a full-time artist. I wanted to desperately. It wasn't until I hit my junior year of college that I really wanted to try it, to really want to give it my all. And I started this channel actually the summer before my senior year. So I didn't have actually very long in school where I was really seriously trying to study art, and by the time that I hit senior year, it was way too late to change my major. I was a scholarship student. I did not want to go into debt even more than I already was. So after graduating, I've been trying to make up for the admittedly sizable gaps in my art education myself. And there are 5 really important things that I've learned along the way that hopefully you can avoid if you listen to this video. That's my aim, at least. I don't know if we're actually going to get there and if you'll internalize this, but hopefully you will. The first really important tip is to make a plan. If you are going to go this alone, if you are not going to go to art school, you have to create some kind of curriculum for yourself. Some kind of plan. What I recommend if you're just starting out is draw some stuff, like no advice, no tutorials, just draw some stuff and then analyze it in detail. Try to make a list of all of the aspects of your art that you want to improve, aspects of your art that you don't like, and don't cop out here and just say everything. Practice being specific and analyzing it in detail. Instead of saying everything, say something like, the color palette of this piece isn't really engaging, it doesn't work well, or I didn't know how to light this scene, or the anatomy here is off and I don't know why. Something like that. And then from there, you will have this huge list of skills to practice. Congratulations. Use the things on that list as keywords to look up on YouTube, to buy art books about, practice the library, get art classes, take classes online on Skillshare, New Matches Academy, take classes in person, whatever. And if you do already have some experience, I want you to practice the stuff that you shy away from, that you really avoid. We all went through that phase in middle school and elementary school where we hated drawing hands or the second eye, stuff like that. The stuff that you shy away from, that holds you back as an artist, is the stuff that you should really practice. It's important to remember here, I think, that humans are endurance predators. We've never been the strongest or the fastest, but we've always been the most persistent. It's important to just get out there and start taking steps to eliminate that weakness one by one, practicing it over and over until it becomes a strength of yours instead of something that holds you back. And then at that point, of course, you're going to have a different list of things that you want to practice, and you can just repeat ad nauseum. The second thing is to carve out time to practice. If you're anything like me, there's a lot of wasted time in your day. I can't really do like calendar blocking, like categorizing my day and blocking it off by like 15-minute increments to get everything done, like having like constant calendar reminders. That doesn't work for me. What works for me is creating a single objective for my day. So hopefully at least you have some control over some portion of the 24 hours that you spend in your day. Of those hours that you do have, try and make a plan for how you're going to spend them. Maybe this looks like you have to tell your partner, hey, I would love it if you were to take the kids to the movies. I will take on one of your chores next week so you can get that off your plate. But for that 2-3 hour block of time, I want to spend studying art. And hopefully you and your partner can work as a team this way and kind of help each other achieve your goals. My boyfriend and I don't have kids, but we also like to kind of tag team each other's goals a little bit and help keep each other accountable. I'll get more into accountability later, but it's important to carve out time to make art, or else you are actually never going to follow up on that plan that you just spent all that time creating. Introducing a new hobby into your life and taking an existing hobby more seriously isn't going to magically introduce new hours into your day. You're going to have to make compromises and trade-offs. It doesn't have to be every day, but hopefully at least you should be able to carve out a consistent schedule of practice in terms of like your week. Maybe it looks like just your Saturday or Wednesdays and Fridays. For me, I like to carve off like my entire Wednesday or my entire Thursday to just make art. I don't spend any time on Discord or YouTube comments. I don't think about editing or my podcast or Patreon. I just make art for that day. That is all that I have to do. Anything extra that I get done, awesome, great, good for me. But that's not the point of that day. Carving off an entire day for a single objective is really how I get stuff done. I know that I'm going to get comments being like, okay, but how much time do I actually need to put in to see like consistent improvement? And the answer to that question is so variable. Like the answer that I could give wouldn't even make sense for most people. You need to put in however much time you actually have available to put in. That's the answer. Like however much time you can put in while still like having a healthy social life and being like a competent, real human being that takes care of themselves is the amount of time that you should put in. The third tip that I have is to really practice your observational skills. So accuracy is kind of a really important underpinning fundamental of art. Just being able to see instead of just look, to like no longer recognize a water bottle as a water bottle and instead see it as a variety of cylinders and other complex shapes that make up that form. So I have a lot of anxiety. I'm a very anxious person. That's a big part of actually why I love to plan things so much. It helps me regain control over my life. But one thing that I do to help reduce my anxiety in the moment is I look at a thing around me, it can be anything, to take a complex shape close to me and imagine how I might break it down into a variety of simpler shapes, gradually analyzing it and adding layers of complexity. Think of it like creating a mental model of the object out of clay. When you work with clay, you take a big hunk of clay, right? And you carve out the basic shape, and then you add increasing layers of complexity to really make it more realistic. You should do the same thing in your own life. Practice that. Practice, okay, like I can't draw right now. I don't have a pencil and a paper. I'm just standing in line at the coffee shop. But how would I draw this water bottle or like this sign overhead? How would I recreate that? Like what are the angles? Like what relationship do these two angles have to each other? How does this work? And also you could observe the color too. Think about how the light of the scene affects the local color of the object, how the shadows work. Actually, what color is that thing now that you're thinking about it? Sure, it's a white wall, but it's also a cloudy day. So the wall isn't really white anymore. It's more of like a taupe beige tinged with green. Like how would you mix that color? Would you start with quinacridone red, phthalo blue, carbon black if you were going to mix it in paint? I'm branching off on a tangent here, but that's the kind of thing that I want you to think about and practice on your own time when you can't make art right away. Accuracy in art is really all about observation, and practicing that skill is really important. Though obviously like drawing at the same time is better, because then you're also practicing like making your hands do what your brain wants them to do, which is a very good skill too, of course, but just practicing all on your own how to observe things and like really cultivating that attention to detail is important too. My fourth tip is to invest in high quality learning resources that are right for you. So YouTube is great. Channels like Marco Bucci, Light Pondering, Straw Mix Paint, Ian Roberts, they're amazing. And the right kind of person could totally learn just from YouTube and not need anything else. But I'm not that kind of person. The temptation of watching another video is sometimes too great, and instead of really internalizing the lessons that I learned in that video, I'm clicking on the next one and the next one and going down this huge rabbit hole that I don't need to be going down. What works best for me is studying directly from art books or taking classes at New Masters Academy. They're like a bougie art Skillshare. I've been taking classes from them for the past couple of months and I've really been enjoying it. They're not as flashy as YouTube videos, sure, but they do come with assignments, and the teachers are like vetted professional artists that clearly have a ton to offer. And they have classes on a bunch of topics. This is not sponsored, by the way. I just really like the company. New Masters Academy, if you want to reach out, I'm just saying my email is in the description. But their classes are great. I've really been enjoying them. They're super high value. They have just tons of classes on fundamentals, perspective, oil painting, classical illustration, visual storytelling, portraiture, tons of stuff. I just really find a lecture that I'm interested in practicing at the moment and then go from there. And oftentimes you can follow along with the professor as they're teaching, or the instructor, I guess. And then they give you an assignment at the end of every module. But on the book side of things, I really enjoy Color and Light by 3D Total. It's a great instructional, like textbook quality kind of thing with loads of exercises in it. I also really enjoy Suzanne Brooker's books on portraiture and landscape drawing and landscape painting. They're amazing resources as well. I have an older video on loads of art books that I collected over the past couple of years that I will link in the description as well, but I need to make a sequel to that because I've easily doubled my collection since then. But my last tip is to find some art friends that are willing to give you thorough, detailed critique. A really big benefit of art school and art coaching in general is the community, the feedback you get, the networking you do. I highly recommend you try and put yourself out there and find some really good art friends. Not friends that will blow smoke up your ass and be like, wow, this is amazing, this is perfect, but art friends that will respectfully and lovingly rip your work to shreds with the hopes that you do better next time. Really detailed, thorough critique like that is exactly what you need. Our community Discord server is great for this. I've really tried to make it an amazing space for all of us to hang out. I don't love YouTube comments. I'm way more active on the Discord server, so if you wanted to chat with me one-on-one, I'm there almost every day, except, like I said, for those days where I just go offline and make art. So it's a great online community to chat in, but there are also plenty of ways to meet people in real life. You could set up a Tinder profile, for example, where you say that you're looking for art friends. You could go to gallery exhibits, try and find some open figure drawing sessions at a community college or a local atelier. You could find some Facebook groups that meet up in real life to do like plein air painting, stuff like that. You just really want a community to really have a group of people to rely on when you do have questions about art, be it how do I mix paint, what oil solvent should I get for oil painting indoors, or how much should I charge for this commission. Having a good group of people around you can make a huge difference. So I hope you enjoyed this footage of my life so far during Study September. It's been an amazing past couple of weeks to get back into the habit of making stuff, and that's it for me. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.